I'm Insomniac,
I'm Pops,
and this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
That was good. That one was good.
Now that one was pretty decent. I'd like to see some.
Alright, here we go again with the same old bullshit, because what episode is this?
26, I believe.
20.
Or 27?
Was 26 the public one?
Now you got me.
Shit.
Maybe it's 27. Wait a minute. Look at this shit. What are we doing?
I have no clue. So this is episode 26 of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops. And this one is it's kind of music related, but it's kind of personal experience related. I think either way you'll get a kick out of it. The first part is really just for the drummers out there. And the second part is for everybody, because I'm sure that's going to be funny. Both of these topics are from the same person, Llewellyn Griffith. Shout out to the UK over there.
Yeah, he likes to give, he loves the drum and music topics. That's cool. We've done a lot of your topics.
The first one, which is the short one, is what would be your choice for an ultimate drum cover or solo? Then we are going to get to best and worst gig experience you had, also from Llewellyn Griffith. So we'll start with the ultimate drum covers one, and then we'll talk about some of the craziness we've experienced out on the road there.
Well, my best cover, my favorite, most ultimate cover would be Channel 1 Suite, but Buddy Rich's version. Channel 1 Suite. Oh my God. For years, I used to play the record album and play this song, Channel 1 Suite, and I would try to play along to it, and it was crazy, right? So then I went and see him at this place called The Fountain in Belleville. A lot of people went there. I mean, John Morano, he had the tickets. I wish I had my tickets, and so many others. So I went and see him, and he opened up, if I remember right, I believe he did, with Channel 1 Suite, and I was sitting like this close to him. He was on a riser, like right there, like literally no further than the camera we're looking into and talk to. He was right here, and he broke into Channel 1 Suite on the floor tom. I'm like mesmerized. And then when he came in and he started playing double time, not single swing, not double time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Truthfully, I remember I was like, I quit. I'm never playing the drums again. But he played this song, Channel 1 Suite. Now, as the years passed, I got Channel 1 Suite down pretty good. So that was saying something, because Buddy is almost unattainable, or is unattainable in a lot of ways, in my opinion. There's drummers who cover Buddy's stuff. They think they're cutting it, but I have never seen anyone do anything like Buddy Rich. So this song was amazing, just blew my mind. And I have to say, I really got a good grip on it later on, but that would be it. Again, Channel 1 Suite. Now, one or two quick others, and I have covered, all right, real quick, I have covered
one or two quick others.
Well, I'll just say quick. I won't get into it because I ain't ready.
Version of Channel 1 Suite by Buddy Rich.
Well, that was it. But I covered Moby Dick, but I didn't do it like John Bonham. I really dissected that drum solo. I did some of the stuff John did and some of my own stuff, and so that was fun. Then there was a tune that Grand Funk did. I believe it was TNLC. Don Brewer did a drum solo on that, and man, that was awesome. I remember, but those solos I was able to play. I actually dissected them and played them. Not like Buddy, so that's my answers on that question. Buddy was the king, the fucking king, and still is the king. No one will ever touch him. Go ahead.
I don't have a specific song. It would probably just be most of and/or all of whatever Matt Halpern plays from Periphery. And the reason being, he's actually not the greatest drummer or the hardest drummer there would be to try to emulate, but there's a real interesting simplicity to his setup, yet he does so much with it that I'm just really intrigued by his style. I always have been, I still am. So I'd like to learn how to play some of his stuff and the way he plays it. On almost no kit, but playing more than any other drummer out there right now. So yeah, most of the Periphery stuff, I'd say. I don't have time these days to really dissect anything, but one day when I find some time, maybe I'll dig into it.
I could have mentioned more about that night at the Fountain, but let's move on.
All right, so now let's talk about our best and worst gig experiences. Maybe we should start with the best, because you know the worst ones are going to be funnier. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, I'll go with best. There was many occasions, but 2 or 3 that stick out. I'm starting right here, and I'm going to give a shout out to Rick Tominski, Gary's brother.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I don't know Rick.
Well, I'm giving a shout out because...
I know Rick Sanchez from...
And I'll explain why I brought up Rick.
Rick and Morty.
I'll explain why I brought up Rick. We used to play the Dirt Club like a house band, personally, my band. There was a gig that came up. Royal Marines were coming in on an aircraft carrier into, in the Hudson into the city. And I don't know how John hooked up with someone, but we need entertainment for these guys. This is where Rick comes in. Rick took all of his sound equipment out of the Dirt Club. He was a sound man at the Dirt Club. And also, he's technically family. I don't care who divorces who, whatever. This guy was family. So this was my brother-in-law's brother. Anyway, so they drop his sound equipment with a crane inside of this aircraft carrier, set up a stage, set up the sound equipment, and a handful of us bands that would play the Dirt Club all the time were picked to go play. Well, 1,800 Royal Marines, that's number one. That's without at least 1,000 or 2,000 people that got into the aircraft carrier with passes, because they knew this event was going on. It was a big thing, it was advertised. And man, when I climbed out on that stage, I had on a one-piece jumpsuit. Of course, at the time I must have been about 170 pounds. I was ripped. And I walk out there and picture 1,800 Royal Marines and half of them whistling at you. Man, I must have turned 5 colors of red.
Oh, no.
They were fucking whistling at me, because I came out first to get behind the drum kit. Anyway, awesome experience. So we played for at least 3,000-4,000 people there. What a moment. That day, at the end of the day, some of the guys in the bands were called up. I was sent up, and we got a plaque, and I was just looking for it before this episode. I don't know what happened to it. I'm really embarrassed, but we were all presented with a plaque from the Royal Marines, and I had that thing forever. I wish I could have found it. I would have put it on the camera and show you. But it was a beautiful moment. And then, real quick, we played at the Dirt Club, and we opened up for the Ventures. We opened up for the Ventures. Walk, Don't Run, Pipeline, Hawaii Five-0, those guys. What an experience. The place was over capacity. The floor was flexing. I thought we were all going to die, honestly. It was ridiculous and scary. But we played for the, for the Adventures. We personally opened up, and what an experience. And I met those guys down below, when they kind of in the dressing room downstairs at the Dirt. They were really cool. That was tremendous. And I had mentioned in other episodes that I played there with Wall of Voodoo, Psychedelic Furs, the Triplets, so many, Deco 5, some great names that got big. Of course, the Smithereens, Pat, rest in peace, just passed away recently. Played with so many bands. Those were all my highlights, and there's so many more, but I had mentioned them before. So those are the main ones. Rob played at a lot of great places too that I played at, but that was really my highlights, more close to home.
I played at a lot of places, a lot of stages, in a lot of states.
You did.
The interesting thing is, I think one of my favorite gigs that I ever played wasn't actually the most packed or one of the most famous places that I played. I think it was at Crash Mansion when I was playing with the band No Outlet. Anyway, long story short, we played at a place called Crash Mansion. I don't even know if it's there anymore. And I rented a bus.
Crazy place.
I literally rented a bus to bring a Vanderhoof bus, a full-size one, for $650 for the day. Rented the driver and everything. And I had people shipped over there to see this show, plus the people that were there. But what was cool about this show, besides the overall energy, was just electric, and there were a ton of people there. It was a very pretty packed show. But
show.
I decided to do this interactive drum solo thing during one of the songs, which I thought was pretty cool. Remember I brought extra floor toms?
Right.
I brought 3 floor toms, and I had them set up at the
we did that again later.
We did, but I had them set up high enough at the edge of the stage so when I got to this drum solo section in one of the songs where I normally did a solo, I came out from behind the kit first, and we handed out sticks to people in the front row, and I would play on the floor toms with the crowd. So that I actually have a video of it somewhere. I believe somebody took with a cell phone. I'm going to try to put it here in the video. People were flipping out and having a great time, and that was just a blast. Then I got back behind the kit and did my solo stuff on the drums, and I mean the whole show though was it was electric. It was really incredible. That was probably one of the best shows that well, in terms of memories, probably one of the best shows I ever had. Then I'd like to stick in one that was one of the best and worst for a middle ground before we get to the worst shows.
Middle ground, huh?
Now, the reason why this was one of the best and one of the worst shows I remember is because we played a halftime kind of in-between show thing at Giants Stadium. Not for football, though, for soccer. And they had this huge, like, kind of dome thing. Looked like a small aircraft hangar set up out in the lot right outside of the actual stadium. So
right.
I guess during the halftime thing, people come out and they buy stuff and they grab drinks and they do whatever, and then they watch some music. So I was with a band at that time called Just Passing Through, and the reason why it was one of the best and worst experiences is because it was one of the biggest stages and one of the biggest crowds I've ever played to, but short of one member of the band who was phenomenal, and I used to love playing with him, the band kind of sucked overall, and I didn't really like the music, so I went from really excited to I didn't really love what we were presenting to that many people, so it was like a mix of exciting and embarrassing at the same time. Not on my part, but me and Ivan, we both kind of looked bored. So I'm not really sure, we were kind of like enjoying the experience and also kind of wishing we were playing with a different band. So, anyway, that was pretty cool though.
So we getting on to worse now? Well, I have two stories. One I told when we talked about gigs, but I'm going to tell it again. We were playing at a place in Passaic called Hitsville. It was a cool place at the time, pretty big. Experiences there. Great crowds, made great money there. Better money there than a lot of the clubs we played at. And I think this particular night we were probably promised $80 or $100 a piece for the 20-minute set. So we got up, we started playing the set. There wasn't a lot of people that night, but for a big club, I don't know, maybe there was 50 people, 60 people around. A lot of them were at the bar, but it was like we were playing at a cocktail party. We're playing, we play one song, and people are talking, like at a cocktail party, at the bar. No one's into us, paying attention. I'll play a second song. By the third song, I stopped the band in the middle of the song. I marched out behind the drums, grabbed the mic, and I said to the folks that were there, "What the fuck is wrong with you people? Can't you see we're up here playing? Wait the fuck." I said, "This is bull," and I just went crazy on the few people there. I don't even know if half of them even paid attention. So I said, "Fuck this." I threw the mic down. I'm not playing. And we walked off that stage and we got paid. I don't know if someone sympathized with us. I'm not sure, but we got paid for that gig. That was a bullshit gig. I remember for me it was embarrassing. The next worst gig has a highlight. It's kind of like what you just said. It has a highlight in it. We had this guy playing in the band. I won't say his full name. His name was Brian, bass player. And he had a serious fucking cocaine and Quaalude problem. So,
oh man,
we had this really great gig, same place. That night it was going to be packed. People were coming to see us. Brian is fucking blitzed, man. He is banged up. Well, we're waiting for him to show up. Like, where the fuck is... My father was at this gig. Now, those of you who knew my father, and I know some of you are going to watch, you definitely do, he was not wrapped too tight. And if you got him mad, it didn't matter if you were 6'5", and this guy was about 6'2". True story. My father was 5'3", but he'd kill you. So he was crazy little guinea. Brian shows up. My father drags him in the fucking dressing room, and he's screaming at him like he's screaming at me or one of his own kids. Get in. He gets him in the drink. He goes, "You motherfucker!" And my father's going, "You're not fucking moving. You're not having a drink." And Brian's like, okay. It was like the guy was shitting his pants, right? I guess we were in our mid-20s or something, early 20s. And my father's threatening him. He's threatening him to have Bullet bite his ass off when he comes in the house. My dog, which is like a dog Rob has, big German Shepherd. And he's just go, all right. My father's name was Adolf. All right, Adolf. And he made him sit down and wait till we played. Well, here's the funny part of this gig. He gets up there, he's still fucking wasted a half hour, an hour later. His nose is running, he's spitting all over. He doesn't miss a note. He doesn't miss a note singing on the bass. He fucking hit everything, but he's snot running down his face. He was a mess. But here's the highlight part. He had this girlfriend. Her name was Bernadette, and she was like a porn star or something, true story. And she's out on the dance floor. She's banged up with him because they both had this problem. My father's dancing with her. shirt was falling down, her tits were out.
So your dad was dancing with a coked out porn star.
Yeah, with a coked out porn star. So he really won that night. Yeah. So anyway, my mom was there. Mom was not happy.
All right, Grandpa.
Yeah, and Mom was not happy. And so meanwhile, people were trying to pull her top up. She's like a mess. So like I think the bouncers came over because her clothes are falling off. So those same club, two really like shitty experiences, and I don't know, every other gigs that I had, I could speak well of. Everything from the backyard to the christenings to the parties to the weddings. I played everything, you name it, all kinds of clubs. And those were all pretty good. I can't say there was a terrible one, but those two were pretty fucked up. They were pretty fucked up. So that's my other side.
One of the biggest ones that stood out to me as one of the shittiest gig experiences I had. Actually, before I get to that one, let me rewind 1 second to the honorable mention for me. Same band that I mentioned at the halftime show, Just Passing Through band, that I didn't really love the music. Right. I'll make this one brief. We showed up to a show, I think it was in Pennsylvania or something like that, and they said they had a backline. For those of you who don't know what that means that you pretty much the guitar players bring their guitars, and other than that, everyth's there. Drums are there, amps are there.
Backline.
Well, I showed up to play a set with them that I didn't really want to play in the first place. They had an electric drum set.
Oh no, that's a bad experience.
They had an electric drum set.
Oh, fuck that.
So I had to play a live rock show on an electric kit.
That's
and
fucking
actually,
bad. That's fucking bad.
I at first refused to play. When I got there, I literally said, I don't care how far we drove, fuck this, we're going home. But then I think it might have been Ivan who actually said something to the effect of, look how far away we are, and look at the people that are here. Nobody's even gonna remember that we played. Just get up and have some fun.
Fucking have fun.
So it wasn't fun, but I did it. So anyway, that wasn't the worst. I think one of the worst I ever did. We used to play this place in the city called Don Hills. We played there probably 7 or 8 times. We had okay experiences there. The crowds were okay. The stage was all right, although it had a drum riser that was so high near the lights that it was about 130 degrees.
I hate that.
Up there. And that was probably the most brutal place for me to actually play sets, because I would be, I looked like I got out of the shower when I get down. But anyway, the last time we were there, they said, you guys have played here quite a few times. Let me give you a headline show for the next one. We'll give you a Saturday night.
Give me an acoustic fucking drum set.
No, this isn't the same place.
Oh, sorry. I'm lost. I lost the Mississauga.
I'm on to the worst one.
Oh, worst one, sorry.
We bring our own shit and everything to this place.
Okay.
But they said, all right, we'll give you a headline show next time. So we booked the date. It was a Saturday night in the city, headline show, which means that, everybody opens for us, basically. And on the billboard and the flyers and everything, our band was the headline, the headline attraction for the night. So the headline band was supposed to play at 11:30 at night, which is a great time for a Saturday night for some rock and roll. Well, it turns out there were supposed to be 5 bands. They started the show late. That was number 1, so that backed up the time a little bit.
What's new?
Then there was a band that played after the first band that wasn't on the schedule. They said, oh yeah, we forgot about them, we squeezed them in, but they had a 40-minute set. Then the other 3 bands play, which now makes 5. And now the show's running late about, I'd say, an hour and 15 minutes. So now we're looking at, let's see, what time was it? Maybe about, pushing 1 o'clock. But then we were going to get our stuff up. There was another band. They booked another band that they didn't put on the flyer that they were going to put up first. So we were getting all pissy with them. They're like, what's the big deal? You're still the headline band, this and that. I was like, look, we're not at fucking Madison Square Garden. People aren't going to sit around and wait for this band that they've never heard of.
See ya.
We were expecting to catch the crowds. Well, I'll fast forward to what happens at the end of this. That band takes their sweet time. And by the time we get our shit up there on stage, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. The only people there are the few people that came with us. I think I remember Mike's dad was there, my guitar player's dad.
Fucked up.
I think my ex-girlfriend was there, and 5 or 6 other people that we brought. Other than that, there was about 12 people left at the bar. And to add insult to injury, we're playing our set. The bar has Dream Theater playing on the televisions. We don't know why.
Nice.
But people are sitting there watching Dream Theater on these flat screens while we're playing to the 6 people we brought. And the place when we first got there was packed. there had to be at least a couple hundred people there.
No respect.
Oh, we went nuts, and they were supposed to pay us X amount of the door, and the guy was trying to get out of it. So, of course, then
What's new?
I basically told the guy, we're not leaving here without money.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a brawl up in this bitch. So it turned into a real nightmare, and we never played there again. But I've had some shit shows. That was probably the worst one. It was just a total waste of time. It was one of those ones where we were actually debating right before we went on stage whether or not to just keep our shit in the trap cases and screw. But then we figured, I guess, we're already here. Why don't we have our practice?
I gotta tell you, we should do a whole nother episode of this where we just tell horror stories more, because I have some stories from the Dirt Club that will blow. I mean, we'll just have everyone on the ground laughing, and those that know about the place, if they will watch, will just die. Because I have stories that are just ridiculous. You wouldn't believe it. It's stranger than fiction. Fucking crazy shit. So being a musician's a crazy fucking thing, man. I'm telling you, it's to this day.
An interesting way to live.
I don't care how the fuck you do it. You're teaching people. It's like a fucking spin-off. It's crazy. I mean, it's a life I love, still love, and when you have it coursing through your veins, man, there's nothing you can do about it. And I know anyone who'll be watching this, and I know who you all will be, you know what I'm talking about. It's in your DNA. It runs through your blood. So, but I love these topics. They're always interesting. Same guy seems to request them. Obviously, you're a musician. So that's it.
This was episode 26.
26.
Of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops. This is a patron-exclusive episode. I'm certainly not running low on topics. We have plenty of topics left that have been submitted, but I actually haven't received many fresh new ideas for topics lately, so I'd like to, kind of remix the bag, as it were. So if you're watching this and you're a patron, comment under the link where I posted this video on my Patreon page and submit some topic ideas. Yeah. This way we can add those to the list. And
become a patron. Don't cost anything. Tons of stuff to see.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're not a patron.
Not just us.
I mean, the mayor of our town, awesome guy.
Killer guy.
He signed up last
night.
Of course, by the time you see this, it won't be last night, the editing. Anyway, right. But thanks a lot, Mr. Parisi.
Yes.
That's really cool. But, I mean, geez, if he's going to sign up, the rest of you should throw out $1. Yeah. Geez, I mean, somebody throw some money out there.
And, man, we really appreciate you folks. No matter what you say, we appreciate you, so thank you. Really, we definitely thank you. And I hope you enjoy it all. So let's roll the Insomniac.
See you at episode 27.
Later.